Imagine a weapon that doesn't fire bullets or drop bombs, yet it can infiltrate a nation, influence an entire generation, and capture the most valuable resource on Earth, your attention. In the United States, the story of the TikTok ban isn't just about trade wars or data privacy. It's something deeper, a high-stakes psychological battle for control over the human dopamine system. For years, TikTok operated in a legal gray zone until a landmark law in 2024 forced a choice. Separate from its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, or face a potential shutdown in the US. What followed was uncertainty, legal pressure, and intense negotiations. While discussions around ownership changes and restructuring continued, one thing remained constant. The platform itself did not lose its grip, because ownership can change, policies can change, but the psychology stays the same. Most users believe they scroll because they want entertainment, but psychology suggests something more complex. You're not just watching content, you're interacting with a system designed to learn from you. TikTok's algorithm is one of the most sophisticated recommendation systems ever built. It studies your behavior, your watch time, your scroll speed, the moments where you pause, and the moments you don't. Over time, it builds a highly detailed behavioral profile, a version of you, shaped entirely by your digital actions. It can begin to predict when you're bored, when you're curious, and when your brain is most likely to seek stimulation. In behavioral psychology, this pattern is known as intermittent reinforcement, a principle rooted in operant conditioning, the same mechanism that makes slot machines and gambling so addictive, because you never know whether the next swipe will give you something meaningful or something completely trivial, and that unpredictability keeps your brain engaged continuously, almost automatically, which is why when governments talk about national security, some experts raise a deeper concern: cognitive influence. Now think about this. What happens if a powerful algorithm can influence what millions of people see and what they don't? If certain ideas are quietly amplified, while others are reduced in visibility, then a difficult question emerges. Are your opinions entirely your own? Or are they being shaped without you even realizing it? This is often described as soft power influence, not through force, but through exposure, not by control, but by subtle direction. And while discussions about ownership and regulation continue, including how platforms like TikTok handle US user data, one thing is clear: the underlying system, the engagement-driven architecture, remains incredibly powerful. Beyond geopolitics, there is something even bigger: the attention economy. In today's world, the most valuable resource is no longer oil or gold, it's your focus. Silicon Valley giants like Meta and Google didn't just worry about TikTok because of China. They were concerned because it captured something far more powerful: the American gaze. This isn't just competition, it's a battle for digital influence and economic control, because every minute you spend on one platform is a minute not spent on another. And in the digital world, time is power. Now think about this. What happens when that time suddenly disappears? When TikTok briefly went offline for some users, during periods of uncertainty, many young people reported feeling a strange emptiness, a kind of mental silence they weren't used to anymore. Years of fast-paced scrolling, short-form videos, constant stimulation had trained the brain to expect something always. And when that stimulation stopped, what remained was boredom. And for many, that felt uncomfortable, because modern platforms don't just entertain, they condition. They create habits where silence feels unnatural and stillness feels wrong. This has raised concerns among researchers about rising loneliness and shallow forms of connection. Apps promise interaction, but often deliver brief moments of validation that quickly fade. And then the cycle repeats again and again, even as discussions continue around regulation, data handling, and platform restructuring, including ongoing scrutiny of TikTok. Privacy concerns have not completely disappeared. Some experts argue that as systems evolve, new risks can emerge, even as old ones are addressed. We may be entering an era often described as techno-nationalism, where technology is no longer just a tool, but part of global competition, where every platform, every algorithm has the potential to influence at scale. But step back for a moment, because this was never just about one app. It's about something deeper: human vulnerability, our attention spans, are under pressure, not because we are weaker, but because the systems are getting stronger and more precise. We are constantly trading long-term focus for short-term stimulation, deep thinking for instant reward, and over time, that trade starts to shape us. So now the question becomes, as platforms evolve and new structures emerge, have we really solved the problem? Or have we simply changed its form? Because the real battlefield isn't in Congress or in courtrooms, it's inside your brain, inside the part responsible for decisions, focus, and self-control, your prefrontal cortex. So the real question is not whether TikTok exists or not. The real question is, can you control how much influence it has over you? Because in the end, maps can show where conflicts happen, and history can tell us when they began. But psychology explains why we respond the way we do, why we keep scrolling, even when we don't want to, why stopping feels harder than continuing. This isn't just technology, it's behavior, and that makes it powerful. The battle for your attention is still ongoing, and in the digital age, your mind is the ultimate territory. So stay aware, stay intentional, because the strongest control is the one you don't even notice.